Question 3. So again, with these videos, pause, read the question, then see what you think. When we're looking at factorising a polynomial, so quadratics are the power 2, anything above that we're going to call a polynomial. So if we've got power 3, we're thinking I've got a polynomial, and I'm going to have to do my synthetic division. So synthetic division means I'm going to take the coefficient of each of these. Yeah, just take those coefficients. So I've got 1, because that's in front of the x cubed. Then I've got -3, then I've got -10, and then I've got 24. Bear in mind, for example, if I had x cubed take away 10x, I would have to write 1, 0, -10, 0. Okay, so watch out for your gaps in there. Right? And if I'm going to divide effectively this function by this bracket, I change the sign and I put in a -3. Okay, and that's because when I'm dividing, I'm using the actual root. Okay, not the bracket, I'm using the root. So say the cubic's doing something like this, I'm putting in the actual root, which is -3. So if it is a factor, then -3 is a root. So I know that it'd be y equals, and in that bracket it'd be x plus 3. I don't know yet what the other two roots are, okay, but they'll be x and something. Okay, so let's put that in just now then. So now so what we do is we pull our 1 down, and then we're multiplying, and then we're adding. I'm multiplying, and then I'm adding. I'm multiplying, and then I'm adding. Excellent. So I have to say that the remainder is equal to 0, therefore x plus 3 is a factor. Okay, fantastic. And that's the first bit. And then hence factorise. So factorising I'm taking it a bit further. So I know that x plus 3 is a factor, okay. So I've got a, b. Just realised it looks quite festive with the colour scheme I've chosen there. Anyway. X squared take away 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. So I've just pulled down x squared. That's -6x, and that's 8. Notice the powers are all now 1 less. That was a cube, square, x. Now it's a square, x. All 1 less. And I want to factorise that fully. So add to give you this, multiply to give you this. That looks to me like -4 and -2. So I get x plus 3 and x take away 4 and x take away 2 equals 0. Now it just asked me to factorise it, didn't ask me to solve. So at this point I'm actually off the hook. I can now stop. If it asked me to solve it, I would then say, well, my roots are going to be -3 plus 4 and plus 2. Okay, so actually that would then be a 2 and a 4. That's what my roots look like. Okay. Just while we're talking about this, please note that if I had a polynomial, so I'm going to just write that x -2 just to kind of demonstrate it. If I had a polynomial where I was doing something like this, note that this is an equal root. So if that was, say, 4 and that was -2, this would be y is x plus 2, and then x take away 4 squared. You've got 2 equal roots here. Okay, power 3, I need to have 3 roots, but I've only got 2. That's because this is 2 equal roots. Okay, so just watch out for that. Also, when you get to here, if you couldn't factorise it, say it was a very odd trinomial, say it was something like, x squared take away, 7x, plus 50 or something, right? You're like, how do I solve that? Well, you would have to then do b squared minus 4ac and show that that was less than 0, and then say, therefore, you can't factorise, okay? Something along those lines. So watch out for that as well, if you get to something here where you can't factorise it. So let's have a quick look at the marking scheme. So we're going to get a mark for knowing absolutely, yep, how to use, and then to say, so that's going to get a point, and then this final statement gets a point. So remember your statement. And our next 2 marks will be this bit here. We get a mark for pulling this out of the synthetic division, and then actually factorising. So not a bad 4 marks actually when you think about it. This one was particularly easy. There wasn't a twist. The factorising was straightforward, and they didn't throw it into like a graph or something. Sometimes they make you then interpret a graph or whatever. So not a bad little 4 marks actually. Watch out for that. That's a big one. And remember, this is the opposite to what's in your bracket. For the very reason I discussed, it's the actual roots that go in here. Okay, hope that was helpful.